Hello everyone. So welcome to my channel. This is Divine Insights. So where we will be talking about just astrology and only astrology. So today in this session I'll be teaching or I'll be sharing the information related to the planets. So what are the planets and what they actually represent in our life and how they actually work. So let's start from sun. So sun represents your father, sun represents the authority, so sun represents the soul as well, the soul purpose that can also be seen through sun. And uh, this sun is something which represents your lineage as well. So your ancestors and lineage, that is something which is connected to the sun. So yeah, so the government officials and your boss in your career and your father, these all represents the sun in your life. So now let's move to the moon. So moon represents your mother. So moon represents the emotion. Moon represents uh, your mind actually. So which is very unstable planet. And yeah, this planet also represents the food habits and liquid cash, that is something represented by moon. And yeah, moon also represents the collection of the resources as well. So whether it's emotion or any natural resources, it talks about the collection of that particular thing. That's why it is considered as exalted in second house of resources. And yes, uh, all feminine energy, or all the women that you can see in your life, they can be related to this, especially who are equal to you, to your mother. So whether it's aunt or uh, something like that, so they all represent your moon. So now let's talk about Mercury. So Mercury represents your siblings, especially your younger siblings. And yeah, Mercury represents the communication as well. So how you talk, so that can also be seen from your Mercury. And Mercury is about intelligence. So how you read, that can also be seen through Mercury. And yeah, Mercury also represents the business. And Mercury basically represents the skills as well, the skill sets, whether the skills are from which you do from your hands, or whether it's communication. So any kind of skills uh, that will come under this Mercury. And children, they represents the Mercury. So if there is any affliction in Mercury, then helping the kids in their education, or helping any kids, doing any kind of remedies related to kids or children, that might be beneficial to your Mercury if it is in afflicted state. So now let's move to the Mars. So Mars, this represents the your elder brother as well. And this represents your spouse in certain way as well. So in certain ways, it is considered that uh, naturally, how your Mars is like that, likewise you might get your spouse. So you can consider it in a way where around 40% is what Mars is considered, and around 60% is what Jupiter is considered. This combination can be seen as your spouse if you are a female watching this video. And yes, Mars, it is aggression. So if something is going wrong, so whether you have the capacity to talk against that and fight for the justice, whether you have the capability or not, that can be seen through the Mars placement. And yeah, Mars is very essential, especially if you want to fight for the justice and fight against the uh, evil and win over it. So Mars is really crucial. So Mars represents your body as well, and the blood in your body. So somehow uh, it also talks about your ancestors as well, because body and blood is included here. That's the reason it can also be sometimes associated with your ancestors, especially if this Mars is connected to the Rahu. Then it can say so much about your ancestors. And it can also sometimes represents either a blessing or a curse from your ancestors as well. And yeah, uh, Mars represents the war, and literally sometimes it also represents your friends as well, especially those aggressive friends who comes to save you in hard times. So this can be seen through the Mars. So now let's talk about Venus. So yes, so Venus is a very feminine planet. So it represents all the feminine energy. That is nothing but whatsoever the women you come across in your life, they all can be seen through Venus. And Venus also represents the luxury and money, wealth aspect, the properties. So literally everything which is related to luxurious and wealth, that can be seen through Venus. And yeah, a good Venus will give you multiple properties as well. And it also represents your spouse, if you are a male watching this video. And yeah, that's the Venus. So now let's talk about Saturn. So Saturn is a planet which is, which is an indicator of career. So it is always about work, it is about responsibility, and it's mostly about work and only work. And that's why it represents the career in our chart. And uh, and sometimes Saturn also represents the humbleness, uh, you and humanity you will have. And if you have a good Saturn, then it can also make you philanthropic in nature as well. And yeah, so your subordinate workers, your colleagues, they can be seen uh, uh, through the Saturn. So now let's move to the uh, next planet. I think that is Jupiter. So Jupiter, so in your life, your guru or your teachers, they can be seen through your Jupiter. And Jupiter also represents your luck and fortune factor. And it is also, basically the planet Jupiter, it is considered as Brahmaputra. So it is something that it is, that luck factor uh, that you are born with, so that's why it also sometimes indicates about your family and the family values as well. And yeah, it is basically a planet of abundance as well. And sometimes somehow your children can also be seen through your Jupiter as well. And yeah, so Jupiter is all about whether you will get right education and right advice in right time or not. Sometimes right advice can save you so many uh, from many problems, either related to money or anything. So that's the blessing. So it's a basically blessing planet. And yeah, so it represents your teachers. So if you behave proper with your teachers, then your Jupiter is good. And basically the Jupiter works as Rajguru in in that kingdom of planets. So yeah, so it's a planet which is born with that privilege, abundance. So something like this. So whatsoever you are born with, whatsoever the comfort zone you're born with, and your family values and your family status, that all can be seen through this Jupiter. And it's a planet of abundance as well. And now let's move to the Rahu and Ketu. So Rahu, basically the uh, Rahu and both Ketu. So these are literally, um, it's really hard to actually say what it actually represents. But the phone that and the technology, this all can be seen through Rahu. And in animals, we see Rahu through the cats. So they represents the Rahu. And in animals, that dog represents the Ketu. So that's Rahu and Ketu. And the special people that you come across in your life, who are specially abled, or suffering from any diseases. So those people, basically the chronic diseases like um, I think any disabilities or any chronic illness. I'm surely not able to give any example at this point of time, but any the people who are suffering from any chronic diseases, illness, um, those people can be seen through Rahu. And people with disabilities can be seen through Ketu. And basically both Rahu and Ketu are like strangers. If you sometimes help any stranger, it's like, doing a remedy for your Rahu and Ketu only. So these are all nine planets and what they represent in your life. So if you're watching the video till now, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And bye bye.